Coming up, the daily habits of successful men. Yeah, me included. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle improve, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting, John.
If the lady's saying that, you're doing
be entertained by fun over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? That is.
Hey, good morning, nation. It is the Friday morning loop, and I missed the button. Jimmy. Good morning, nation. Hey, you got Keith Billis here. I'm the host of Mornings in the Lab, the only morning show to get your ass to the bed. What problems do we solve? We're your snooze button's biggest nightmare. Don't hit it. Get up and get going. We're helping you hit those big goals, man. You got myself. I'm the host. I'm Keith Billis, and over there is Christopher Martin. He's sitting in Maryland. And we got our buddy John Anderson who's over there over in California. Producer Jimmy's on the buttons, and Walter, our friend Tommy, he's in the community hanging out there, commenting on all the things you guys are curious about here in the lab. And hey, we're digging into the daily habits of successful men. As I sweated up in the robe here this morning in the lab, Jimmy, let's bring in the boys this morning and see what's shaking with the ever-pleasant Christopher Martin and Johnny Anderson. What is up, boys? The bowl full of morning mayhem has arrived. What did you guys think of that bowl full of eggs last night that I dropped in your feed, guys?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty funny, man.
I got to get my microphone back over here. Sorry about that. That was cool, man.
Yeah, so guys, I have a confession. First thing in the first 3 minutes of the show, I got a confession for you guys. And Jimmy doesn't even know what the confession is, but boys, I'm battling this morning, chafing nipples.
Why? What do you got chafing
I don't
nipples
even know
for,
what that
brother?
is.
What?
Yeah, I don't even know.
What? He's wearing something that's rubbing on his nipples too much. Is what it comes down to. It's probably his fucking robe.
No. So as we all know, I've migrated from bodybuilding to running. So I'm moving from Canada's greatest bodybuilder to Canada's greatest runner. And this morning, as I was doing my run, boys, I found myself having my nipples started to chafe against my t-shirt. And I recognized that, so this is what chafing is like for all these long endurance runners. It means that
did I hit this on the head or what? Did I hit this on the head?
You hit it on the head. So what does it mean, Marty? It means when the nipple, I just want to get cuts with Jimmy cutting the nipple. When you rub the nipple against the shirt for extended periods of time, it starts to like rub. It's just like when your balls, you get sweaty balls and you're running and your balls start to chafe against your thick thighs, like thick-thighed human beings, like just chafe. You know what I mean?
You're not telling me what chafe means, though. You keep saying the word, but I don't know what. I'm trying to picture it in my head.
Yeah, it means extreme discomfort. Would that be the best way?
Okay, cool.
And it's like flaking and it's like irritating and
I got you.
And it's just like it's like the touch of my robe now.
It's like when remember Marty when you're first wearing a jock strap and that you're that between your legs is not used to all that and it just fucking gets inflamed and it's really raw.
I got you.
Nice description.
So I didn't know what was going on.
So there we go. We got chafing nipples first thing in the morning. I'm just really curious about what producer Jimmy's thinking right now when he's hearing us talk about chasing nipples this morning. But we are here to talk about the daily habits of successful men. I know that we got 3 successful men here on the show, myself, Jimmy, and Jimmy, and looking forward to chatting with you guys about that.
He thinks, well, see, here's the problem, brother. You often call us the fucking wrong names, so we don't really know if you're just off your fucking rocker or making a goddamn joke.
I'm feeling good today, boys. Johnny, I'm feeling good, and I'm going to tell you why. So we know a couple days ago I decided to step up and lead the men out there that hang on the New Year's resolution stuff. I'm like, all right, I'll be the volunteer and get on that. Boys, in 3 days, I have not had any processed foods. Like none. I feel great. I know. And listen, I've done it before. There's nothing new to me, but just I want to articulate to guys that are considering it. Like 3 days in, man. Like I have not opened a package. Like last night before I went to bed, I crushed some eggs and I crushed a little bit of low carb bread with my eggs. Johnny, I walked upstairs.
Unfortunately, brother, you just fucking crossed the process line.
Yeah, you know what? I knew you were going to say that, and I get it. I get it. So yes, so that's fair. That's fair. I did have a little bit of carbohydrate.
It's like a buddy of mine in wrestling. He was a fucking alcoholic. Yeah, I didn't drink last night. I just had some beers.
Yeah. So
that's fair. I can't stand that. Come on, man.
You're holding me accountable. So okay, so next time I go upstairs, I'm going to say, "Fuck, I can't have the carbohydrate bread," because Johnny's going to call me out on that one. But but what I did,
it's not the carbohydrate. It's the fact that it wasn't a potato or rice or something that wasn't altered by man. Keep in mind, your claim was I had no processed foods.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. So I will continue to make better decisions. I crushed a bunch of meat for supper yesterday. I crushed a bunch of freaking meat. I went upstairs after our show yesterday. I went upstairs, Johnny, walked over to the pantry, Marty, dug into the bag of almonds, grabbed myself a little handful of almonds.
There you go.
Had a couple grapes because I just felt like I need a little bit of this little glycemic energy to keep my morning going a little bit. And then came back and went back to work. And I got to bed last night, boys. 9 o'clock. I was like, okay, I know today's gonna come. I gotta get my loop going, even though my to-do list, boys, was massive. And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, the to-do list will be here this morning. So I went to bed.
It never goes away. You just basically you gotta look at that list and you gotta decide what out of this list do I need to get done today that's time sensitive, that moves the needle forward. Everything else carries forward.
That's it, brother. But I bring it up because we all get so caught up. I got to get in, got to get it done, got to get it done. And then you're like, wait a minute, it's there tomorrow. So I was like, all right. I created that awareness in my brain. I looked at it. I was like, okay, I know myself. I got to go to bed. So I did. Went to bed, had the hockey game on, thought about you two boys, made that little graphic of our 3 eggs in the bowl. I had some fun with that. And then, I think I said it about 9:19, Marty. What was it? What's so forth, right? So you guys commented. I was waiting for Johnny's comment this morning. I knew I was going to get it first thing this morning. And that was that. So, I had a great day yesterday. Excited day today. Guys, going for dinner with Jory Jansen tonight. Never met Jory my entire life today. So we're going to go meet her tonight for dinner. We're going to meet her husband. And I'm going to have to convince her husband that why she gets up with us 3 days a week to hang out with these yahoos in the show in the morning.
Well, what time is she and her time? What time is she on?
She's going to be on here today in 30 minutes, 35 minutes. So, she's here in Winnipeg with us.
But what time? Forgive me. What time is it for her?
Oh, 7:45 a.m.
That's not too bad.
No, it's
that's not bad at all.
It's what's funny, guys. We can laugh together this one, but when I talk to people being a guest on the show, they're like, so what time do you want me to come on? I'm like, the show starts at 7. Yeah, so can we do it like at 9 or 10? I'm like, no. The show
starts at 7.
It's 7.
The show starts at fucking 5. Let's get this straight.
Yes.
Right. I was here that 8 a.m. Eastern time. I'm like, God damn it! I understand everything's on Eastern time. The stock market's on Eastern time. The world's on Eastern time. But Jesus Christ, it's not fucking 8 a.m. over here.
Anderson, I'm telling you, man. And listen, good morning, Caleb. I see you there in the comments. Good morning, PCX and Scrap. Good morning, Maldo. You are joining the biggest morning show for men over on the old YouTubers, LinkedIn, Twitch, all over the planet. We're streaming for men. Help you guys get your ass to bed. It's funny, Johnny, because when I talk to folks in the Pacific time zone, like since we've been working together, I have no time for excuses. Like no time for, but it's early. Like, really? You have no idea. I got a buddy here who wakes up every single day at 3 o'clock to hang out with us. So no, don't give me it's early. That's why you're not John Anderson. Or if you're like, I'm busy. No, Marty shows up every single day for an hour and a half, then he goes to work. So don't tell me you don't have time to come and hang out with us.
I'm up at 3 as well.
Well, I mean, that's the difference. That's the difference in creatures. Every creature has their own standards, has their own limitations, which they set on themselves. And, that's unfortunately we run into the ones that have freed themselves from limitations, the ones that don't even realize that they're being held back by them.
Yes, yes. Good morning, Adam. I see you there in the comments, brother. You are checking in, my friend. I'm glad you're checking in. Adam is racing towards the $1,000 check-in. We got this contest going. More details dropping next week, guys. I've been working on progress instead of perfection. We get so focused on it's got to be perfect, got to be perfect, got to be perfect. No, I'm going to get it out there. We'll start talking about it. But to Adam, expect more details as we get into next week. But I'm glad you're checking in there, brother. Happy to have you on the show. Hey, Marty and Johnny. So guess what? 2025 is the year where, hold on, I got some notes here. Is 2025, boys, officially marks the start of a new human generation. Yeah.
I saw that. What do they call this? What is the next one? What's it called?
Yeah, it's interesting to me, boys. So Johnny, your granddaughter's being born right now. Marty, your kid's going to be born here because I'm suspecting you're going to be having kids in the next 14 years or so, probably. Gen Beta. So kids being born
beta,
today.
That's right. It was beta.
Yeah.
Beta. That's right. Yeah.
Gen Beta. Then you got
I don't
Gen.
know that. What is the actual definition of beta? I think of like alpha and beta. I don't know that if it's like the weaker of the two. I don't know that I'd want my generation to be called that, but unfortunately, that's what's fucking coming down the pipe.
You know what's funny, Johnny? People talking about that, going, "Hey, if you're gonna have a kid in Gen Beta, you might want to ask if they can change the name because you got like a beta kid behind the alpha kids. It's like, oh, you're only second best, right? You're beta. You're the test case, right? So Gen Beta starts now. Babies born between January 1st of 2025 to 2039, and I get this, guys. Get this. The research firm McCrindle, who creates these terms, said in a blog post that Gen Beta will make up 16% of the global population by 2035, and that this is the crazy stat, boys, many Gen Beta children will live to see the 22nd century. Yeah. Crazy, hey? That's crazy. So you think about, like, if
we don't blow this fucking place up before it happens.
Right? Yeah. Right? I know. You know, when you say that, Johnny, it's hard not to imagine those scenarios when you got guys like Zuckerberg and Bezos and some of the world's richest human beings building these massive bunkers. Like Zuckerberg's building a bunker he's bought an island in Hawaii. He's building a bunker on the island. And you got to make you wonder about what these extreme wealthy humans know that we don't know, eh, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. There's a, I don't know. I guess you would say there's a very small group of people who have an understanding of something that the rest of us do not.
Well said.
And it's funny as you slide down the rung. Yeah. You could even say that like the three of us understand something that, say, the general the average everyday man doesn't.
That's a good point.
But when you get all the way up in that motherfucker, now you're dealing with that top, less than 1%.
Yes.
They're privy to information that you watch what they do.
Yes.
It's pretty fucking telling.
No,
when you see, like when you watch them make financial moves, like, wait, okay, that's one of the best ways to align yourself with taking big hits. Is what are they doing when they see, when they're doing X? Probably a good idea to follow X.
I'm a big fan, guys, when I read something or watch something, but especially if I'm reading, Marty and Johnny, when I'm reading something, I'm a big fan of reading in between the lines. So reading a couple sentences, then trying to understand what they're really saying, right? Because then what they're really saying is what the truth is. Actually, case in point, this last week, a number of Meta officials have come out stating that, the future of Instagram, the future of Facebook are going to be AI-powered humans, right? So the point is, you're not going to know AI-powered entities. You're not going to know whether you're interacting with the AI or with a human. And they're saying that's the direction it's heading. And my response is that's just old school Ashley Madison. Like, fuck, when Ashley Madison came out, it was fake, just fake bots, men interacting with fake bots. How do I know? Because I almost worked for them.
What is it?
It's going to be AI bots.
No. What did you say? Something came out. I missed what you said.
Yeah. So if you recall, Ashley Madison, that dating website for married humans about 15 years ago, that was out in the world there, ashleymadison.com.
Completely fucking never heard of it. Missed it altogether.
No, we talked about it before.
We did, Marty. Yeah. So Ashley Madison is a dating website for men and women to hook up because they're married. Well, they were exposed a number of years ago as being mostly fake. And I know that because I was almost hired to work by them and do work for them. So I was able to look behind the curtain of, okay, I see that 98% of your humans are actually bots convincing men to spend money. But my point is, yeah, exactly. My point is, as we move more into the future of AI generated entities, you're not going to know, Marty, whether you're interacting with that female on Instagram, whether it's real or whether she's a bot. And that's intriguing to me, frankly.
I want to know what's going on in that.
Go ahead, Mark.
I was gonna say I want to know what's going on in that marriage. You getting online spending all this money on these bots. Well, they didn't know it was bots, but what the hell is going on in that house?
or maybe what's not going on in that house.
Well, what's not going on?
That's exactly it. That is exactly.
But Terry, whenever we watch movies, I always let her pick because I just want her to enjoy. If she's happy, I'm happy. And she picked this movie, and it was about AI, and of course, she's into sci-fi. I'm not so much into sci-fi, but this one was fucking trippy. So it was basically the premise was that this kid that was really fucking whiz kid that came out of MIT, really up to speed on AI and computers, was brought into this environment to see basically there was this mastermind of like one of these top 1%ers. He brought this kid to this island where he had a couple of female AIs, and he told the kid he was trying to figure out if there was any glitches in the programming, but really what he was trying to figure out is if the kid was going to fall in love with these females that were not human. Yes. It was a fucking trippy movie, man.
Yes. Well, and you guys probably know.
The kid kept saying, "Did you code her to fall in love with me?"
Well, speaking of kids, Florida just banned social media usage for any kids under 14. So it's so if you're under
gift and a curse.
Yeah, Marty, I agree with you. I have very mixed views on this. In some ways it reminds me of, John, I'm looking to you, brother, because we're same age at this one. It reminds me of growing up and the parents saying, "Oh, you can't listen to that Kiss album because there's bad words on it." Or Ozzy said that he eats fucking bats. So, for the longest time, Marty, I grew up with like stickers on CDs and records. Remember that, Johnny? Which had like warning labels for kids that were like, you shouldn't listen to this. And then what happens, Marty? Well, fuck, I want to listen to it more because I'm not supposed to listen to it.
I was going to say all it did was sell more fucking records. It was the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah. So you know what my feeling that is?
There was a lot of heavy shit with that. You're totally correct. This kid committed suicide because he was listening to Ozzy Osbourne. Yes. Jesus Christ. How about, if you really fucking believe that as a parent, why don't you be a little bit more fucking wise about keeping your kid up to speed with what he should be listening to? Take him to church. If you want to listen to something else, then figure this shit out. But what my deal was this: they didn't tell me what I couldn't listen to. They just didn't want to fucking hear it. So if I heard it, if they could hear it, I was in deep shit. That fucking stereo was on low.
Yeah, it was, so for me, like Judas Priest, he didn't like Judas Priest or Ozzy or shit like that. And it was, it's fine. It's that generational thing. But it drove me nuts when I heard all those people bitching. Yeah, you're right. Scott Benzie, Iron Maiden as well. But I was always saying, no, parents, go look in your own mirror. I'm sorry your kid committed suicide. I really am. I have nothing but empathy. But it's not because they listened to Ozzy Osbourne. It's not because they had a Judas Priest album. It's not because Iron Maiden had Eddie on fucking stage, man.
Well, it's basically saying that a fucking album had your kid's ear more than you did.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh.
I mean, Jesus Christ, you're basically saying a fucking album out-parented you. Are you fucking kidding me? Take some responsibility for the love of Christ.
That's a good exit, Jimmy. Producer Jimmy, that's a good exit from Johnny. Yes.
Yeah, where are you going to go after that one? What are you going to say to that, bro?
I like that one, brother. I like that. Hey, a lot of energy here on this Friday of the Loop. You got Keith, you got John, you got Marty. The first week of 2025. We're going to get the accountability check-in. With Shaking Benzie, with Shaking Adam. Good to have you here. All right, guys, listen. I got some truths for you here right now. Boom, boom. Everybody wants change. Yeah. Until it's time to get dirty. Here's the thing. Change is simple, but it's not easy. No, it's waking up earlier. It's saying no to distractions. It's doing the uncomfortable things consistently. Most people stop when it gets tough. They just do. It's like, 3 days and I'm done. Not 2 weeks and I'm done. January 15th, resolutions are done. I'm over. What? No. Business athletes don't stop. We lean in when it gets harder. So I want you to ask yourself today, do you want the result? Or are you ready to do what it takes to earn it? Here's what real change looks like. You got to face the hard truth. You got to identify one habit or behavior that's holding you back. Get rid of those ultra processed foods. Get up earlier. Not what's easy to fix, but what's essential to fix. And then you got to take immediate action. You got to do it. Don't overthink it. Pick one step, put it on the calendar, and just do it. And commit to the discomfort. Like I do every Monday and Friday. I fucking hate running, but I run. So listen, if you want to start something, come run with me every Monday and Friday. Just come do it. Come run Monday and Fridays, even if you hate it. There's no skill involved. Well, there is skill, but let's start doing it. Set the timeline, stick to the work, whether you feel like it or not. So here's the thing. Change doesn't come from a grand plans or perfect conditions, boys. Nope, not at all. It comes from ruthful honesty in your own mirror, bold first steps, and unrelenting consistency. Day after day after day after day. Stop waiting for the motivation. Now, you're not going to get motivation here. No, you got to start building that discipline, creating those big habits. The process, it's not glamorous, trust me, but it works. So here's what it comes down to. The question is, will you, or are you going to roll over and go back to bed? There's your accountability check-in. Getting after it. That's it. Endless escapes. It's discipline, discipline, discipline. Thanks for tuning into the show. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends about the greatest morning show you've discovered here for men called Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. I'm your host. I'm Keith Billis. I'm the robed leader amongst friends here with my buddy Christopher Martin, one of the guys in the Bowl of Mayhem, joining me from Maryland. We got Johnny Anderson as well. Guys, I thought we would get into a conversation today. Actually, first of all, I'm going to get shit from Jimmy if I don't get into this one here. And I've had this on the docket for days, and I keep forgetting about it. But I wanted to get into a better habit, guys, of talking about things that we can help men with as they start their day. And one of them is this idea of a stretch. And Johnny, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and it stuck with me, some of the things that you said, and same thing with you, Marty. Let's talk for a few moments before we get into
a stretch.
Yeah. Before we get into,
I do that every fucking morning, right when I'm on the show. I got my left leg up right now. Hamstring is being pulled loose as we speak.
So
I do it too.
We are here to talk about the daily habits of successful men revealed, which might include emptying the clip from time to time. But I also want to talk about the power of the Superman, the core move your workout might be missing. Like there's two stretches I love. The world's greatest stretch, you do the lunge and you put your arm up in the air, but then the other one is the Superman. We talked about it a few weeks ago, but I want to spend a couple of minutes here today talking about the power and the value within the Superman and why we might want to do it if we're sitting a great deal of time. John, you want to start the discussion, man? I know you talk to your clients often about Superman, guys that are sitting often. Let's talk about the benefits of the Superman exercise. Johnny.
So here, think of it like this. If you have lower back problems from anything, especially in I shouldn't say America, now it's the whole world, but definitely in America, as time goes on, it's like if you've got a sore back, well, you better really stay away from it. Well, in actuality, what you're doing is you're making it weaker and you're making the problem worse. So a Superman is basically what it's going to do is it's going to strengthen there's two long straps of muscle that run right up your spine. And when you do a Superman, those muscles get stronger, more conditioned. And as they get stronger, more conditioned, they keep your spine in place, which keeps you from having back problems. I can't tell you how many people I've had under my wing that came to me with back problems. And one of the first things I do, I incorporate Supermans for them shortly out of bed, 3 to 5 sets, anywhere between 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the individual.
Yeah.
And I've had people under my wing that they've said that we got rid of their back problems, and they're coming back years fucking later saying, I have still not had an issue with my back, all because they do a few minutes of Supermans in the morning. We fucking brush our teeth to keep our teeth. Yeah. Well, you should do your Supermans to keep the health of your back, because I'm a guy who's had an issue with my back. I have surgery. And when you fucking have back problem, it fucking sucks. And it hinders your life. So if you got back problems, this is your solution 90% of the time if it's a lower lumbar issue.
Well, that's why I brought it up, Johnny, because I believe there's a lot of men in our audience that complain or have back issues or have back challenges and wonder why. And maybe sometimes we're carrying a little extra belly fat, maybe some extra visceral fat. Maybe we're just not, moving enough. And one of the things I like about the Superman, John, Marty, is that you're laying down. So for guys, if you're lazy, and I'm having some humor in this, But if you're lazy, go lay down, go lay in your belly and stretch. Like there's like the effort involved. Yes, there's awareness and you got to have effort. But John, the effort is you're laying down.
Also a hidden value here because generally speaking, the people that have back problems,
yes,
like you said, they're sitting too much, whatever it is.
Yes.
These motherfuckers have a hard time getting down, up and down off the floor. And they never do it because they live lives where they're protecting their back, which means they're rarely ever going to get down on the floor. Well, if you get up and down on the floor just once a day, you'd be pretty surprised how much easier it gets by the end of the first week.
I never even thought about the simple, like, so again, talk about functional movement, right, Marty? Like just get it, like you're 40, 50, you're having trouble tying your shoes or putting your socks on. Like just that age itself, like getting down and then getting back up again is an effort, isn't it, Marty?
Yeah, I got to add my 2 cents in, you know.
Yeah.
So I actually rarely do Supermans. They're a great exercise. It's just something I don't prefer to do.
But brother, you're doing all the other exercises that makes them kind of obsolete.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm going to. So if your back is hurting, that's a key indicator that you need to add some things in. You're not doing something right. So that could be tight muscles or weak muscles, right? So if you got tight muscles, I would recommend warming up your body before you work out. Stretch after you work out while your muscles are warm and they're loose. Then you need to focus on hamstrings. You probably have weak hamstrings and weak glutes if your back is hurting. So just like Johnny said, that's not a sign that you need to stay away from your back. That means you need to give it some attention and you need to do something about it. So just my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
Check this out. So I had when I had my gym, right, it was I work with people in person. And so it seemed like I had all these young, whippersnappers that were trying to get D1 scholarships. And the other side of the equation was the wealthy dudes that were having a really difficult time reaching their goals. So I had a number of clients that had this problem and many others. And part of their workout, they would do 10 repetitions of going, I called it feet to belly. They'd go from their feet to their belly and back up. 10 reps. These motherfuckers would be wiped out after 10 of these. That's how little they were doing this movement. So that's all it was. All I did with them was functional movement. Like when they're doing squats, I put a fucking chair out. Okay. Pretend it's a toilet. I want you to get up and down off that thing 25 times. I just took movements that applied to their lives. Okay, you got kids. Your kids want you to get on the ground and play. When was the last time you got to your hands and knees? I don't even remember. Well, get on your hands and knees right now, motherfucker.
Oh, Johnny, I love that. I have a friend who played professional hockey, and he's a big believer in the things we're talking about. And when he often talks to his male clients and female clients from the coaching side of things is get in the habit of crawling as an older human. Like just get on the floor and start to crawl. Right. So like if you're 60, 70, 80, 90, like if you can go out of this world like you came into the world, you're in a pretty good place. And just as having this ability to crawl, because I would imagine, John, 60, 70, 80, 90, there's probably humans that have been sitting their whole life that don't even know how to crawl anymore. So just the idea of crawling, the value of crawling, Johnny.
And maybe even shit your pants when you're crawling. Then you're really getting back to where you started from.
That's crazy.
We got a comment from Scott Benzie here, boys. Scott says, question. The old saying was that every 10 pounds of extra weight in the stomach is an extra 100 pounds of pressure on the back and 25 extra pounds of pressure on the knees. Yeah, probably something to be said for that. I'm thinking probably largely anecdotal, but I got to suspect there's something to be said for that. I know it doesn't help when you have that extra weight hanging around you.
Well, and there's no question that's part of the equation, but you can lose weight per se, which of course I'd love to people to lose fat, but it doesn't strengthen the areas that are weak.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny. So Jimmy has a couple questions he wanted to throw at you here, which is let's talk about incorporating Superman into your routine. What would be the simplest way to do that, Johnny?
I would have it stacked with brushing your teeth. Most people get up, they take a piss, grab a cup of coffee, they brush their teeth. So when it's time to brush your teeth, I would do the Superman right before, largely because, a lot of times the brushing of the teeth is the starting of the get ready process. I always do it in the front end because if I drip toothpaste, I'm not dripping it on my fucking clean shirt. So that's a little bit of toothpaste on a black shirt. It's changing the shirt time. So I would just habit stack it, with brushing your teeth. Get on the floor. And a lot of times people get bored because there's a little break between. Well, fuck, now we live in the age of technology. Put something that keeps you occupied in your fucking ear, whether it's music or a podcast, and basically have maximum 5 minutes of self-improvement on the floor. So you just habit stack it and brush your teeth. That's what I would recommend.
That's it. Hey, you can put our show on. Hey, good morning, you guys in Substack. I see you over there on the camera. I invite you to come check out the full show over on YouTube, LinkedIn. What's up, Adam? You're all over the place, Adam. And then, boys, my last question from Jimmy to get some good B-roll into the cut here is just quickly explain. Johnny says Marty doesn't do Superman because he's too fulfilled on doing all these other awesome exercises. I
don't do them a ton either. Like if I'm, let's just say that I'm banged up and I'm not deadlifting or squatting because the knees bother me. Yes. I'll be Superman like a motherfucker.
There you go.
But if I'm squatting and I'm deadlifting, it's basically taking care of the Superman scenario.
Yes. Yep. Perfect. Yep. And you can see on the screen here, guys, how to do the perfect Superman. Essentially get your ass on the ground, get on your belly. And really, I'm going to oversimplify it. But fly like Superman. And I did and I have a little bit of a metaphor in here because if you are a comic book hero, last week, the brand new Superman trailer was dropped, over 50 million views. Ratings are through the roof. And Marty, looking at you, brother, rumors have it that the next Superman movie is like a little bit of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's apparently pretty spectacular, and there's a lot of good buzz about it dropping in early 2025.
You getting some more superheroes in there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and they're apparently likening it to the Marvel universe and Guardian Galaxy. So apparently,
good idea for them. This Marvel ruined themselves.
Yes, this one's got some buzz here. So talking to my resident comic book expert Marty about Superman this morning.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Marty, I think you got a fit tip for the nation. Then we're going to come back. We're going to get into. Guys, I want to talk about the Jeff Bezos interview at Dealbook, and I know we are talking about daily habits of successful men. Well, this is part of it. Because there's some nuggets here, guys, that you guys, if you're running a business, if you're taking care of yourself, there's nuggets here to help you guys get going. Marty, get after it, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, I got two things today. We're on that path talking about the Supermans and lower backs. But listen, if you neglect your fitness, you're on the road to disaster, right? Think about it like this. You have to look at your fitness like you look at other areas of your life, right? So if you look at your finances, right? Let's say you got a credit card and you just keep swiping it. You don't pay the balance off. That's going to turn into a freaking disaster. You're going to hit your balance and it's going to ruin your credit score, right? If you don't pay attention to your girlfriend or wife, disaster, right? She's going to end up leaving your ass. If you don't pay attention to your business or your job, if you have a job and you just don't show up and you neglect it, you're going to get fired. You got to treat your body the same way. If I'm doing all of this sitting, right? If I'm sitting on planes, sitting on the couch, sitting at the basketball game, sitting with the friends, not moving, not stretching, it's going to turn into a disaster. And eating whatever you want on top of that in a caloric surplus, it's going to turn into a disaster. So treat your fitness like you treat other areas of your life, because there's no way you're going to neglect those things I just mentioned earlier. And the last thing I wanted to mention, you have to learn how to receive the message without paying attention to the tone, how the message is said, or even who the message is from. Because you might get a solid tip, a solid message from someone who you don't necessarily want to hear from. That can be your spouse, that can be your kid, it can be your boss, it can be your personal trainer. You might not want to hear it. But if they're telling you the right shit, guess what? You need to listen, and you need to be able to apply it to your life without getting emotional and getting your emotions involved in it. So that's the two things for today. Don't neglect your health and treat it like the other important areas of your life, and learn how to listen to the message and not the tone or the messenger. That's the fitness tip for today.
Oh, that's good. Marty, I like that. I like that a lot. Because often we get pissed off at the messenger, eh, Marty? Like, fuck, I don't like what Chris told me.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you're like, no, but I'm just telling you some facts, Mr. Billis. No, but I don't like you, Marty. Just the messenger, man. Just the messenger.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day, somebody was like, I saw something on Twitter, and the guy said something true, and when somebody in the comments said the guy with no backbone said that, and it's like, was it true or not? So it's just, it's crazy, man.
All right, we're gonna get into our big conversation today about habits for the daily habits of successful men revealed. And I thought what we would do with this conversation, guys, is lean into a conversation that Jeff Bezos had with Charlie Munger at a recent deal book summit. And I've got a whole bunch of points here that I'll throw some on the table, which I think are really good ones for us to consider and discuss. And let's talk about them. So one of them is, the first one is, and I think we're all going to line up with this one. It's human nature to overestimate risk and underestimate opportunity. It's the whole idea of, well, what if you did succeed? Most often we don't do something because we're scared of failing or we're scared of the risk. We rarely consider the opportunity of actually succeeding. Who wants to go first?
That's our brain. That's fucking programmed to look at the bad, not the good.
It is.
What's so goddamn funny?
No, it's just because the way you're chugging.
You got the cigar in your mouth, man.
That's awesome, man.
That's when you get it nice and soft, you can talk it in your mouth.
I love it. Entrepreneurs would be well advised to try and bias against that piece of human nature, the one we just talked about, because the risks are probably not as big as you perceive, and the opportunities may be bigger than you perceive. And I love this one because, John, you're right. Your brain is saying, well, no, Keith, you can't do it, man. You're not going to do it. You can't do it. No, there's no way you can do it. And then we tell a story to ourselves, and then we convince ourselves of that. Marty.
Yeah, if you look for an excuse, you're going to find one, and it's easier. Yeah. It's easier to be negative than positive. I don't know. I don't even understand how that works for the human brain, but it's just easier to be negative than positive, and it's human nature for us to go against what we need to do. Like, we're automatically going to want to run away from the pressure, run away from the hard situation. So it's just human nature. You got to go against it.
Well,
and the thing about it is, I have never met a successful person in person, or even like if I'm just consuming their content. Yeah. That hasn't been point blank. If you want to get ahead, you got to start taking some risks. Yes. You got to be okay with some loss. I mean, I had to lose $10,000 to make my first 100. I had to lose 100 to make my first million. It just keeps fucking moving forward. You got to realize that risk and that loss is part of the fucking equation. If Johnny, you want to make an omelet, you're gonna have to break some goddamn eggs.
I love it. And I was gonna say, like, you see successful people, but you don't see the story. You don't see the losses, on the way to the success. Yes. So add that in as well. Yep.
That's it. Good morning, strategic veteran. I see you there, Adam. You're right, Keith. And then the next problem you have is learning how to say no to those same opportunities. Yeah, you're bang on. And we were talking gambling yesterday, and Johnny, I always like to laugh at folks that sit down with their at the VLT and they're going, "Yeah, I'm going to win the max." Oh, but you're only playing one quarter. No, but I want to win the max. Well, no, you're not going to win. You're going to get minimal payout with minimal play. So if you want to win max, you got to go in with max. And sometimes, to John's point, you got to take some risk, and perhaps it's measured risk to get some measured payoff.
Well, do you want to make your dollar with 100 fucking pennies or 4 quarters? Yeah. I like the idea of having fewer moves to get ahead. Yeah. Which means I got to put a bigger fucking bet on the table. Oh, I'm okay with that.
Well, then the next one Bezos talks about, boys, is thinking small is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, there's so much truth in that because there's the brain again telling us, right? And I'm going to suggest many of us entrepreneurs think here because we're scared to think here. I can achieve that. It's just a small thought. Now think bigger, boys.
I fall back to you peel it all away.
Yeah.
I asked myself a question.
Yeah.
Are you playing to win? Or are you playing not to lose?
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm playing not to lose, I got a fucking problem. Am I playing offense or am I playing defense? Because the best fucking defense is a good offense.
Oh, no question about that. No question.
And it's just you just got to ask yourself these questions daily, because our brains are programmed to have us play defense. They're programmed to have us play not to lose, when nobody's getting ahead that way.
Good morning, Andreas from Germany. I see you there, brother. I see you there in Substack. You come find us here on YouTube or LinkedIn. But I see you there, Andreas. We're going to get you on the show, Andreas, in a couple of weeks when you get back from your holidays there over in Germany. But boys, the next thing that Bezos talks about, I think you're going to like this one as well, guys, which is I wake up and follow my curiosity. I think I made a post with this yesterday. I think the greatest gift we have as men is being vulnerable and being curious. And the moment you lose both, you might as well go start digging a hole in the ground. Get up and be curious. Man, the moment we stop being curious is the moment death is on your door. And I've met too many men, boys. Again, looking at you, Johnny, on the demographic thing, guys that start, that are like, I can't touch my toes, or they're bitching, but they're racing towards retirement. They've lost all, exactly, Marty. They've lost all curiosity in life. You follow me, Johnny? You met those guys before?
Yeah, They've somehow, some way adapted, and let's strip it down. Let's strip it down to the basics. They've somehow adapted "I can't."
Yes,
their mantra. And when you say "I can't," you're releasing responsibility, accountability. Can you touch your toes? When you say "I can't," it's kind of saying "I don't want to."
Yes. Another one he talks about.
I was just going to say, when you have that mindset, you're just setting yourself up for failure. Nobody that got successful or hit their goal was like, I can't do that. And then they miraculously hit their goal. It doesn't work like that.
Yes.
It's going to be difficult. It's going to suck, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yes. I love this next one from Bezos. And gentlemen, I'm looking at you who are running meetings and running businesses or being an entrepreneur with your team. He talks about, I want crisp documents and messy meetings. The memo should be like angels seeing from on high. It's so clear and beautiful, and then the meetings can be completely messy. I want to lean into this for a quick second. I know I've been involved in too many meetings and conversations and group sessions, especially over my ICUC days, where it's PowerPoint, and they just spend their time going through the PowerPoint and then putting all the work onto the folks that are sitting in the room listening. Well, what Bezos suggests is, no. Your job, if Marty's presented to me and Johnny, Marty should be working like a motherfucker, putting together a crisp document, answering all the questions, answering everything we possibly should need to know. The meeting starts. We all sit down and read the document for the first 30 minutes. Then we talk about it. But what Marty's done is he's answered everything in advance. And then what Bezos says is, I want the meetings to wander. And he also says, and I love this one as well, I don't know why we have an end time on a meeting, because if there's an end time on a meeting, we shouldn't meet in the first place. Think about that. Because if we're meeting to solve a problem. So I want the meeting
over when the problem's solved.
Exactly, Johnny. Exactly. Yet it's so often.
And that might take fucking 5 minutes. You don't always need 60.
Boom. Yes. It might take you 3 fucking weeks. It might take you 3 years.
I love it.
I know, but yet it's because and I would invite you guys, if you're going to go into a meeting with your team today, ask yourself what you're looking to get out of it. If you're like, it's going to be done in an hour, well, then you don't need to have the meeting. Like, you probably don't need to have the meeting if you know what the end result is.
Well, I got one thing to add. I know I'm a lot younger than y'all, but one thing I've learned is, like, you can't always go by the textbook. Yeah. Sometimes you got to go off script a little bit, right?
Yes.
So, even when you're playing sports, playing basketball, you can't follow the play all the time. Sometimes the defense might cut that off. You got to be able to adjust. And even in the sales, like, they'll give you the sales script. Like, here's the sales script. Well, motherfucker, sometimes nobody trying to hear that shit. You might just got to have a conversation with someone. Yes. Right. Get to know them, find the pain point, and then you go from there. They want to see that you're human, So Marty, it's okay to go off script sometimes.
That segues to what Bezos talks about next, Marty, which is, I don't want rehearsed meetings. As the CEO, you're seeking truth, not a pitch. Marty, don't pitch me, man. Don't come to the meeting and try to pitch me. I want you to give me the truth. I want to talk about the truth to you, and then I want to solve the problem we're putting on the table. This is not a sales pitch where you're trying to sell me as the CEO.
Yep.
Right. So I like that one as well. Boys, Johnny, you're going to like this one because I know you're a feelings guy. Your emotions are sort of an early warning system. If you're stressed, for me, Bezos says, That's kind of like an early radar detecting that there's something I'm not taking action on. John, when you hear Bezos say that, what do you hear when he says that? That my emotions are like an early warning system. Because when I read this, you strike me as a fellow who, because we talk every single day, that you strike me that when something's kind of going sideways, an alarm goes off in your head. You create this awareness, and you know about it.
You just got to backtrack because what emotion are you feeling? If you're feeling an abundant emotion like fuck, I see something new that I didn't see, then that means your thoughts are in the right spot. If you're basically seeing some sort of a, your feeling is something more on the scarce side or something on the conservative side, that means that your thoughts, again, you got the wrong thoughts. It all starts with your thoughts. The emotion is a reaction of the thought.
Yes.
The feeling comes from a thought. So what the fuck are your thoughts? If you got a bad feeling or bad emotion, you got a bad thought. You got a bad thoughts, probably not looking at the right part of the equation to be successful.
Yeah. I like this. Go ahead, Marty.
Real quick, I want to just add in too, the emotions can have you thinking that things are worse than it is. Yeah. So it might not even be that bad, but the emotions got you thinking it's the end of the world.
Yes. And I like this one here too, boys. And again, I'm looking at you guys because you guys both strike me as one that would be this. You, as in founders, so guys that are tuning in right now, Adam Peters listening to you, talking to you, brother. You founders need optimism and energy. I don't know how some glum Eeyore type founders could ever lead a company to success. You have to have optimism. John, I suspect when you meet with your team, Marty, he doesn't go in like this. Okay, guys, we need to go talk to people now, and we got to do this, and we have to have that happen, and this is going to work. Right? No, I'm suspecting John is going in and saying, all right, motherfuckers, let's go in there. Let's do this. He's got optimism. He's got energy. He's painting a picture. He's got vision. And even if some of it is just hype, he's leading his team to a destination. He's making humans believe. Johnny,
I was going to say that you just hit it on the head.
Yeah.
That start of the day meeting is to put the belief in everybody so that we can go attack the daily goal that's on the table.
Yes.
If you don't believe, you're never going to achieve. I shouldn't say never, but if you don't believe what you're doing, the odds of you being successful is very, very slim. And that positivity, that enthusiasm, that abundance is very contagious.
Yeah, I hear you.
I say this too. It's nothing worse than a coach, when I used to play. It's nothing worse than a coach, if you're down at halftime or something, and the coach just throws in the fucking towel. He puts his head down, he's moping, he's blaming everyone. That's just it's the worst. So you're headed to disaster if you have a leader who has that type of energy.
Or the other side, I love this. I know you guys don't follow hockey as much as I do. This week, Patrick Roy, one of the greatest goaltenders of all time, in his own zone, pulled the goalie with a minute left in the game. They were losing. Pulled the goalie, put another player on the ice, and the team was like, "What the fuck you doing, man? Like we're in our own zone." He's like, "Well, yeah, we're losing." So here's the thing: if we win the draw, get the puck, we have a chance to win. Again, Johnny, it's like sitting at the blackside table and you're sitting there on the soft 16. I'm sorry, a dealer sitting there with a soft 16. You're like, well, fuck, I got to hit because I'm already losing. Right? It's that idea.
Yeah. Are you playing to win or are you playing to lose?
Exactly. Because you've already lost.
And I'm happier swinging for I can sleep at night knowing that I fucking swung the bat as hard as I could with the best intention I could versus if I sat there like a fucking pussy and watched that fucking fastball come in hot. And it might have been the one I needed, and I was too afraid to pull the trigger. I can't live with that. I didn't go to sleep well with that.
That's it. And then, Johnny, before we do the lifestyle tip, one last one, guys. I like this one that Bezos puts, which is there should be a list of where they rank people by how much wealth they've created for other people instead of a list that ranks your own wealth. So what he's saying is that who cares how much wealth Musk has? How much wealth has Musk created for other humans on the planet?
Was that a jab at Musk?
No, well, no, I just or anybody, or even Bezos, but I find that fascinating, right? Because we're so quick to judge how much money Marty has or Johnny has or Keith has. Wait a minute. How much wealth did Keith generate from investing into 50 other men or women, or you know what I mean? Like that to me is a fascinating stat. Less so about how much
flexing right now, Keith.
Nope, not
that was a flex. Come on, man, that was a flex, Keith.
Flexing going on there.
If that was a flex, that was a pussy flex. If you're gonna flex, you gotta fucking get
it. There's a cut first, Jimmy. It's a pussy flex from Uncle Keith here this morning. Mornings in the lab. We're gonna go to the lifestyle tip, and we're gonna come back with. I think Jory's joining here today. I don't see her in the green room, but I think she's coming here today to talk Leucine. If not, we're going to keep the chat going about daily. There's Jory. I see her there coming in a second. So, Johnny.
Hey, will you two get the hell out of here, please?
Jimmy, get us out of here.
For the love of Christ. All right. Many of you guys are working on a goal because it's the first of the year. And here is the message. It doesn't have to be a perfect day. It just needs to be another day that you show up. Not every day is going to be your best day, but it doesn't matter. At very least, continue to work on the skill of showing up. Continue to work on the habit of showing up. Continue to do what you need to do, even if you're not at your best, and you will be so happy with the results. The best part about it is when you develop the habit of showing up, that's a very transferable skill. You can put that to other parts of your life. And next thing you know, you have learned to show up in all areas of your life. And next thing you know, you are one happy motherfucker. Rock and roll.
You could be one happy motherfucker with John Anderson here this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. We're having a lot of fun here today on the Friday of the Loop. A lot of energy happening here today. And of course, we got joining right now. I'm looking for my button. The greatest of all time, Jory Jansen. What's going on, Jory?
Well, I'm up and I'm here.
If I have to hear one more time this week, Jory, I'm so excited about going for dinner with Jory this Friday from my lovely wife, Lauren. I'm like, can we just get the Friday ready? But anyways, we're going to have some dinner and crush some food tonight.
Keith, I need a video of Lauren talking off Jory's head.
Believe me, I'll start.
I need a video. I got to see that.
Yeah, see, I'll time lapse it, Marty. I'll just put it on time lapse. You'll just
yes.
Yeah. What's your husband's name, Jory? Kent, right? Or Kurt? Kurt. Yeah, so Kurt and Keith are going to go sit at a different table with us. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought we'd bring Jory in here today to talk about, boys, apparently, Jory's like, really, Billis? Apparently the amino acid for 2025, which is leucine. We went from creatine in 2024 now to leucine. So, Jory, let's start off with you before I roll over to Johnny and Marty. But what is leucine and why are we talking about it, or apparently talking about it so much in 2025? Is it like the migration from, okay, we're off the creatine now, we got to go to the leucine? Jory Jansen.
I wouldn't say we're off the creatine. It's, there's creatine and also there is, the leucine. And leucine is an essential amino acid, and that's basically an essential amino acid is an amino acid that we need to get through our diet or supplementation.
Yes. And
but the importance of it, I think the why it's going to be 2026, and on, like I think it's important because we are aging. If you're human, you're going to age. And a lot of people still don't understand the importance of protein intake, and in particular leucine's role in saving our skeletal muscle, because the ability to make protein as we age significantly declines. We actually need higher amounts per sitting than our younger versions of ourselves. So it's really important to get that amino acid in, but that it's not only leucine. Leucine works with other proteins. So we don't want to, forget about balance from meals, but it is an important role in it, especially if we're looking for, many of us are looking for weight loss right now.
Yeah.
Body composition change would be the better one. We know that, yes. But people like to look at numbers, and yes. The scale is easier than going and getting a body comp test done. It was more convenient. So leucine helps with that. So that's one of its big roles.
So let's get into the benefits of leucine. I got a few of them here. Let's talk
real quick. Let me just jump in real quick. I want to just point out one thing that Jory said that was so important. Too many people keep trading one thing for the next. It's not a trade. It's in addition to. You know, it's like you learn all these little things that are helpful, and you keep one as you adopt another. Next thing you know, you've got a bunch of these things that are, as a group, actually have much more punching power. So if you're saying, oh, I'm going to do this one and I'm going to not do that one, you're kind of defeating the whole purpose of gathering the data and gathering the information to move ahead.
Yeah.
Can I add one thing?
Please, Marty.
I just want to say, Jory said body composition, right? When you hear body composition, you have to think longevity. All right, so this is something that's going to help with muscle recovery, keeping the weight off, your metabolism. So, keep those in mind. This isn't going to be a quick fix thing. This is something that's going to benefit you for the rest of your life. So
that's why you put it in and you leave it in.
I got kind of a question for you three, because you three are from the fitness industry. I'm like the shoulder guy around this thing. Why do humans, I got to take the glass off for this one for you guys. Why are humans still confused about the benefits of protein and about this whole idea that I want to be strong as I get older? Like, am I
because fucking Triscuits taste better. That's why.
But it's such a, pardon my language, guys. It's such a strong.
Shut it up.
Keith, say that again. Your camera went out.
I'm like, I don't know about you guys, but if I'm 70 or 80, I want to be strong. Like, there's no rocket science in that. Like, there's just no, like, that's just simple. 1 + 1 = 2. But yet we get still people going, but why do I need protein? Well, no, but that's what makes you strong. We're not trying to build bodybuilder John here or jacked Marty. You just want to be strong to crawl when you're 70 or 80. But yet, Jory, you come on and people still don't know why they should be eating protein. And I saw some stats going, you should eat more protein. Duh. I'm sorry, just a rant there. But why is it that, guys? Like, why, Jory, people come to you in your profession, how much protein should I eat, Jory?
I think, a lot of people that come to me, depending on what age genre they're coming from, the younger ones are more aware because the education is out there, right? The science is building.
Right.
More people are involved in this world. When I started, into getting into this world in 1995, it was new. It was like I could handle every sport nutrition opportunity in Little Winnipeg, Manitoba by myself. It was new and people were still skeptical. Whereas now people are understanding more. There's more research. There's more research happening on women, not just men.
I see.
So I think that the generations as we move forward, I think they're going to be more knowledgeable. Whereas I look at my parents and I'm like, you need more protein. They're like, well, I just eat once a day because I'm not hungry. I'm like,
right.
It doesn't matter. I want you thriving, not just existing, right? So I think if we look at who we're working with, it makes a difference as well. But yeah, and there's so much mixed messaging because we're always looking for the next best thing.
Well, and social media is always giving us something, right, Jory? And that's why we always got to ask ourselves where the source is coming from, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I heard something fascinating a couple weeks ago from actually one of our guests on the show here, Dr. Rizolko, and he made a comment, and I think you'll like this one as well. But as I'm seeing Good Times comment here, which is the food pyramid had us thinking all wrong. Well, what I loved about Dr. Rizolko's comment, which was he's like, okay, let's think about 3 things here. You got essential fatty acids, keyword being essential. We need essential fatty acids to live as a human being. And then he talks about we need essential amino acids, keyword being essential. He says, but nowhere have I seen in the food.
But hold on, you got to explain where those essential amino acids is protein.
Yeah, well, exactly. But hear my point here, Marty. I'm sorry, Johnny. But his third point is I see nowhere in evidence saying that you have to have essential carbohydrates. He's like, you as a human being can survive purely on amino acids and fats, but nowhere in society where you have to have essential.
He did say that. Yeah.
Right. Which I think is kind of fascinating because we as humans think you got to go to the carbohydrates first. No. If you took all the carbohydrates out of your world and just focus on amino acids, fatty acids, proteins, you're going to do just fine. Right. But yet we're so conditioned because nowhere in the world does it say essential carbohydrates. You follow that?
Yeah, and I agree, and then I will disagree a little bit.
Please.
Because I think we have to look at what's the outcome.
Yes.
What do we look at there? We know that the gut requires a certain amount of food source to feed the healthy gut bacteria. And we know that comes from carbohydrate foods.
Yes.
A lot of them do, right? So, and then if we're looking at, endurance, the elite level type of athlete, they do need a quick fuel source, and that's not going to be fat and protein.
Right.
Not going to be a quick source, a longer source, but not a quick source. But if we're looking at average population, the amount of carbohydrate will be reduced. Absolutely.
Yes.
But in terms of what we know in terms of helping prevent some colon cancers and things like that, we need high fiber sources. So fruits and vegetables. It doesn't, I would say, like bread. No, that doesn't need to be in the food.
Yeah, I think he was more referencing the carbohydrate that doesn't really have any vitamins or minerals.
Yeah,
because he's using the word essential, meaning something that the body needs. As to where a piece of you're not going to get much of this micro out of a piece of bread.
Yeah,
exactly. That's very processed.
That is true. Yeah.
That's how his local talks about it. Yeah. So before we wrap up the segment here, Jory, let's quickly wrap it up here. How can humans get leucine in their diet from food instead of from supplements? Give our audience some quick hits on where they can find some leucine. Jory.
And probably if you open up your fridge and freezer, you'll find a ton of it. So I will say, if you're looking for body composition change, especially also losing weight, then animal sources and supplements will probably be easier because you can eat less of it, less calories coming out of it than plant-based sources. But a lot of your protein foods, right? So your eggs, your chicken, your salmon. You could also go to quinoa, edamame, but to get that 2.5 gram hit, at least three times a day, it's going to be easier to get to your goal to go with the animal sources and supplementation, like a whey protein powder, for example.
Yeah. Awesome. Good advice from Jory here this morning. Johnny, any comments on this here before we wrap the segment?
Yeah, I mean, this is what, just like Jory said, this is one of those that if you're eating properly, you're going to, for the most part, take care of this.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to be safe, you can use a supplement. One other thing, kind of going back as we wrap this thing up, we talk about eating more protein. One of the really interesting things about so many people, when you say, you need more protein, they'll say, oh, what brand do you use? Because they're thinking fucking protein powder. No, protein is flesh, And I try to make it easy. I say, look, if it could see you, you can eat it. That's an easy way to kind of find protein.
Man.
Marty, don't tell the animals that.
Yeah, don't tell the animals.
Animals don't tune into our show because Johnny's one of the hosts, and you're not going to live very long if you tune into our show. Because if you can see it, we're going to eat you.
I feel like Johnny eat anything.
I know.
Johnny eat a German Shepherd.
Johnny
I
does
eat some weird shit, man. There's no question.
I don't even want to go.
In other parts of the world, it's not so weird, though. I remember the first time I had a bite of raw horse. I was like, "Whoa, man, this would not be something that would go over well at home. That's for sure." And I mean, home in America. Lauren
and I were down in Peru a couple years ago, and you just walk around the village there, and all you see is just splayed guinea pigs, squirrels on the plates, and you're like, "Oh, all right, that's just what that looks like to eat. I'm not having that for dinner tonight, Jory." But anyways, we're here hanging out with Jory, Johnny, and Marty here at Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends for the Protein Break every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Jory, I appreciate you. What do you got on the agenda today before we go to dinner tonight? What's on the agenda today, Jory?
Oh, I've got a lovely brunch happening. And then
eating out twice today.
What's that?
Eating out twice today.
No, the brunch is here. It's gonna be really fun for me. I don't know about the people that are coming. We're gonna make some beet smoothies and high protein pancakes and just some fun stuff that they might not typically think of for brunch.
Fun. Awesome. All right, well, listen, Jory, we'll see you later today. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We talked Leucine with Jory Jansen. Guys, you know how to get it. Look for something with eyes, kill it, eat it. You're going to get your Leucine. There you go.
Don't eat raw horse.
Don't eat raw horse. Jory, we'll see you later.
It's pretty fucking good. I don't know. It's pretty good. I had no problem.
I'll just believe you.
Yeah. Jory, we'll talk to you later. Johnny's going for
Hey, Jory.
Johnny's going for a break. Marty's going to get out of here. He's got to go to Gold's. And
Yes,
then
sir.
we're going to keep the show going for a little bit of time here, a little extended time here, and then we're going to get into the creator spotlight. So, Johnny, go for a break. Marty?
Hey, before I go, I need a full report of the dinner tonight on Monday. I need a full report.
Trust me. You guys.
Thank you.
You'll get some updates tonight in our text discussion. And hey,
right, cool.
I reached out to Flynn yesterday. I was like, Flynn, if you're I'm like, where the hell are you, Flynn? You got to come hang out with us again. I was missing Flynn yesterday. I sent her a text, sent her a message, sent her a video because we had some Bluey on in the house last night too. And I was thinking of Flynn. I'm like, come on, Flynn. So Flynn, we got to come back and hang out with us here one day in the coming weeks here. We kind of miss you on the show. And we miss talking about the vulva with Flynn. Marty?
All right, man. I'll see y'all on Monday, man.
Have a good weekend, brother.
All right, Marty's gonna get out of here. Johnny, go for a break, and then we'll come back and we'll work towards wrapping up the show. Okay, brother? All right, Johnny's getting out of here. What do we got here? We got Scott coming in the comments. Don't forget to add salt to your organic protein. Yes, I think that is certainly something we want to do for killing any kind of organic protein. So listen, nation, we are into hour 2 of Mornings and Live with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to help men get their ass out of bed. Listen, we solve 2 problems for you guys. 2 problems for you men. Problem number 1 is we get up to help you guys get up and get moving. That's what we do. That's why I'm here. Marty's here and John's here every single day. My belief is sometimes we all need a leader. And I put my hand up and say, okay, I'll lead us as I'm leading myself. So I'm on my journey trying to be a better human being. I'm on my journey trying to build this brand new business for all of us, which is this morning show platform for men. And you guys are all invited. The second problem we're solving is loneliness. Guys, come hang out with us. Come hang out with us. Come talk to myself, John, Marty. We're going to set up a private group here in the coming weeks so we can all connect off air. Again, the ambition is to help you guys get going, help you get out of bed, help you hit those goals. Right, Peters? Right, Scott? Right, good time? You guys are tuning in daily with us, and I appreciate that every single. Here's the thing. I know you guys have lots of choices. You guys can go hang out over there. You can go hang out over there. You can go hang out with your family. You guys can go do many things. But the fact you guys choose to hang out with us, I got nothing but gratitude for that. So I thank you for that, for hanging out with us every single day. And as we try to build the biggest morning show platform for men on the planet. Jimmy, the towel post. What are we talking about the towel post there, Jimmy? I see Jimmy's coming here with the towel post. No, I don't see the towel post there, Jimmy. Oh, what do we got here? Oh, okay. We got a comment from Flinner, and oh yeah, all right. So we're gonna we have some good. So I invite you guys all to go check out Christina Flynn's post on LinkedIn here today. She got some good content up there, which looks like it's pretty fun. We always enjoy the kind of stuff that Christina puts out there. Johnny,
hey brother, quick side note. I got an early meeting today, so I got to go at 15.
Yeah, me too, brother. We're gonna rock and roll in a quick second.
Right on. We're on the same wavelength, baby.
We always are, but I did want to get so. What was I gonna say? I go back to what I said with you and Jory, and it just fascinates me, Johnny, where people still get confused with what they should be eating. It's like, don't you want to be strong?
But I think it's.
I know.
There are a few. There are a few. I agree with that, but the majority. They don't want to know. They don't like the answer because it takes them away from what they want to do rather than what they need to do. Too many people nowadays, they live in this is what I want right now. Well, when you live in what you want right now, the odds are you're not going to get what you want later.
Yeah, that's the frank truth, isn't it? Actually, there's no more truth than that right there. So, okay, Jimmy, listen, let's go to community corner. We're gonna go to the creator spotlight here and work towards wrap up today's Friday segment of the show. So today, Johnny, we have somebody who is all the way from Simcoe, Ontario, Canada. Yes, he's he builds content and websites that make you stand out and sell more. Digital Grit is his content studio, and his audience. He talks with this. Says your audience isn't looking for more noise. No, they're looking for connections. He's like, this guy. He's the guy who's delivering it. He's the founder of Digital Grit, a content studio that doesn't just create content; it builds bridges. He's on a mission to help businesses stand out, sell more, and forge real human connections. He's all about forgetting fluff, templates, cookie cutter strategies. He's all about bold, personal, story-driven content that gets results. What makes him different? He doesn't just tell stories. He turns them into trust-building machines. Oh, I like that. His secret weapon, you'll love this, Johnny, simplicity. Simplicity that cuts
Come
through
on, baby.
chaos. I know it's speaking your language, right? Simplicity that cuts through the digital chaos. And the proof, he's got over 200,000 impressions on a single post, not with fancy logos or graphics, but just with his face and his story. Humans are wired for stories, he talks about. You know Johnny, I know Johnny. He's all about writing stories. So today, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is ridiculously excited to celebrate here today. This fellow, which I am going to pull up. Jimmy, I got him on the horizontal, Jimmy. We got this morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is ridiculously excited to celebrate right there.
Push the button, baby.
Oh, there he is. Joshua Penner, Joshua Parsons. No, not Joshua. I had another guy, I showed him Joshua Penner. Joshua Parsons, we're celebrating you, brother. The content and website guy, the digital grit, his content studio. I love the fact that he chose pink for his profile because Johnny, not a lot of guys choose pink. And he's like, no, I'm standing out with pink. You deserve to stand out. I love it, Parsons. Great job. And I love his profile. I love all the stuff he's putting out there. He absolutely stands out. Joshua Parsons is somebody you guys want to connect with over on the LinkedIn platform. And if you're looking for content for your brand, content strategy, creation, and digital storytelling, brand storytelling, you want to go hang out with this dude here. He is creating some exceptionally motivating content. And I just invite you to watch his stuff there. He's all into videos. He's got a good stash. And I
was going to say, I'm digging the stash.
Me too, man. I know. I'm loving the stash. It's funny, Johnny, because the stash is kind of like a love or hate thing, right? So I'm thinking like some females like, oh, the mustache. Russ dudes like, yeah, man, fucking bring the stash on, right? So it's such, and the stash, Johnny, is so representative of an older era, isn't it? It's like you kind of see the stash, you think about like, I don't know, 60s, 70s, 80s, like that stash, right? So I love how Mark Parsons is rocking the stash. So Joshua Parsons, we're here to celebrate you here today, brother, on the Creator Spotlight Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We'd love to have you on the show. So we're going to knock on your door. We're going to celebrate you, and then we're going to invite you in because I'm thinking there's somebody in your orbit who you want to celebrate that we can have on the show, and we can celebrate alongside you. So Joshua, there's your celebration, brother. There you have it. All right, Johnny, what do you got going on for the weekend, brother? We're going to work towards wrapping up today's discussion. What a good show today, man. Oh, man, I love the energy. Good topics to talk about. What do you got going on in the loop today, pal? The weekend loop.
You know, it's just, it's not really the weekend for me. You know, I just keep kicking ass, baby. But I think, one of the things that's going to be kind of fun is so Terry actually got a little bit, I guess she says she got a little restless and she wanted to try to ride her dirt bike. So we got her on there and she kind of just putted around on the street, and just not any real nasty train, and she was good. So I think we're going to we'll ride at some point this weekend whenever she's feeling up to it.
I love that you said Terry's feeling a little bit restless. No shit, she's married to you. I'm thinking that there's not a lot of because I'm thinking that she's like, John, I gotta go. Right? I gotta go. My shoulder's fine. He's like, no, honey, slow down. Right? She's like, no, I gotta go. So that's awesome. That's fun.
Yeah. So it'll be because she gets a lot of enjoyment out of that.
That's awesome.
So it was really, she was really bummed when she got hurt because, we would ride, sometimes 3-4 days a week.
That's awesome. So do you guys do tandem? You guys each got a bike and you guys go and explore basically?
Well, I mean, that's where she got hurt when we explored, but we got a full blown track, just right here in the community. So it's pretty sick.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, well, listen, we're gonna get out of here. We got I got a fun loop of the weekend ahead of me as well. I'm looking forward to next week here in the lab. We got a lot of great shows next week. Got some guests coming in, great topics, super organized. Johnny, I got a topic for next week, man. Oh, I got to quickly pull it out. We got to go here, but this is a fun one. Where is it quickly here? It is. It is 5. Hold on, because Jimmy's gonna love this one as well. So we're gonna talk. We'll get to this topic next week. It is 5. No, where is my? Experts say these are the 7 sex questions almost everyone has, but is too embarrassed to ask. We're gonna get into that next week. Yes, I know. You and me both. I saw it. I didn't read all of it today. We're going to get into it next week. But listen, on behalf of Marty, on behalf of Johnny, producer Jimmy over on the buttons, Walter in the community, and Jory Jansen, myself, John Anderson. We're getting out of here today. Johnny, I love you, brother. Have a good one, pal?
Have a great loop, my brother.
All right, pal. Take care, okay? See you guys later. Jimmy, we'll see you later, buddy. Let's get out of here.